Good morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock, and we will go ahead and get started here shortly. We'll give everybody a few minutes to log in to our webinar this morning, and we're glad to have you with us. So we'll start shortly. Again, good morning, everybody. We're giving folks a few minutes to go ahead and log in before we get started. We will begin shortly. Again, good morning, everybody. We're giving folks a few minutes here to log into the webinar, and we will begin in just a couple of minutes. We've still got a few people joining us, and we are glad to have you with us this morning. Okay, it is 10:02 Central Time, so let's go ahead and get started. And first of all, once again, thank you everybody for joining us this morning for vendor training on the brand new DIR website. And as you know, or as you may not know, we released a new version of the DIR website back on September 1st. We communicated that through our Chief Procurement Office vendor newsletter, that hopefully you saw those announcements, and maybe you've had a chance to be out on the DIR website now to do a little surfing and see the changes that we have made on the DIR website. So what we're going to do today is, here in a minute, I'm going to turn it over to Tony Tran, and he's going to do a live demonstration of how you as vendors can find your information and surf on the DIR website and things that are specific to you, the DIR vendor community. So once again, thank you for joining us this morning. We want to cover a couple of housekeeping items. First of all, we want to remind you that attendees are muted this morning, so use the Q&A box for any of your questions that you may have for the webinar this morning. Please do not put those in the chat. Yeah, we hear a lot of some echoing and reverb. Okay, hopefully we can get that under control. Do you still hear it now as I'm speaking, or has the feedback stopped? Okay, great. Thank you very much. So reminder to put your Q&A, your questions in the Q&A panel. Questions tend to get lost in the chat, and we've got over 200 people with us today. So that's why we want to use the Q&A box for your questions. And you can raise your hand. We will answer questions as we go along today or as Tony is presenting. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to turn it over to Tony Tran, who is a business analyst here at DIR in our contract services department. So Tony, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let you go ahead and share your screen and do the demonstration. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Tom. That reverb may be on my side. Can I get some feedback to see if that has stopped? Am I coming in clear? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think my mic was just too close to my speakers. Thank you. So, and just a heads up, we are using our Q&A panel for questions as opposed to the chat. Just to keep that under control, we have a lot of attendees today. I'm going to ask Tom or Teresa or Desiree to kind of disable our chat window. And if everyone has questions, open up your Q&A panel and post your questions there. If I'm going too quick, or if you want me to slow down and re-explain something, post your questions there. Our other panelists will be looking at those throughout the presentation. And we do have a dedicated time for questions at the end. Hopefully we don't use up the whole hour and I can give y'all back some time. But yeah, go ahead and use your Q&A and we will go back to all those questions when we can. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. Can I confirm from Tom that you're seeing the home screen right now?
I am, Tony. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Great. Okay, so again, like Tom explained earlier, if you haven't been to our website, it has a completely new look and feel at dir.texas.gov. This is our home screen. This is where you're going to see a lot of very general information. I think just some of the things that we focused on when we were updating our website was just a more modern look and feel, easier access to information, just some general accessibility concerns and how the back-end website was working. There was a lot of things that we upgraded. So that's kind of why we've been very excited with the launch. We've had a few bugs come up, but I think it's more or less stable now. So this is your home screen. You're going to notice that at the top right hand here, you're going to still see your sign in button. This is how you're going to get to some application portals. So I'll get into that in a little bit. You have some general information, things about DIR, careers at DIR, some general news that we've been sharing, and events. If you heard about our vendor orientation through the events tab, then we know it's working. But yeah, you can always take a look at the events tab and see what we have coming up. This is your global mega menu. This will always be on every page, regardless of where you are on DIR. So you can quickly navigate to some of these higher and more important topics that we want to gear our customers and vendors to. This is a new tab here, IMA. These are geared toward very specific customers or roles that we have. And then you also have a specific one for vendors. And I'll get into that in just a bit. Our search box here, this is how you can search throughout the entire website. And again, I'll go into this a lot more. I just want to show y'all this is your home screen. We're going to have alerts will show up here as well. If there's a major issue that we need to alert everybody on, this is where it will be at the top of the home page. You have news cycles that you can see what our outreach team is publishing. You have quick links to major avenues on the website. So you're scrolling through here, and then we have a lot of information on information security, recent legislation, things of that nature. And at the bottom here, this is your footer. This is also going to be at the bottom of the home page. It has information that is kind of the same information from up top, but you have also some quick links to other sections of DIR. I'm going to go back to the top here. We're going to look at the home screen. So I'm going to start off with our sign-in button. A lot of you will be familiar with this. This is how you're going to access things like our vendor sales reporting portal. If you have an Itsac contract, you're going to have your Itsac portal as well. And again, you don't have to register for this if it doesn't pertain to you, but if it does, this is where you're going to go and get information about retrieving credentials or creating an account, things of that nature. But if the portal pertains to you, then you would probably already have that information. So as you may know, right now we're having a lot of issues with our vendor sales reporting portal. We are posting notes here. We're also posting it on the VSR portal itself. As vendors, and as you have an active contract with DIR, you will always have to submit a vendor sales report on a monthly basis. This is where you're going to go to get access to the portal. So if you scroll down, you'll see we have links to all of our portals. It starts off with our customer portals. And then down here, this is where our vendor portals are. So the VSR portal is here again. Bitstamp, a lot of you probably started off getting your contracts by registering on Bitstamp, but that's how you're going to respond to an open procurement. And then the Itsac portal, or the IT staffing portal. If you have an IT staffing contract, this is where you're going to go to respond or view customer solicitations. So I'm going to scroll down here. We also have some resources as for using some of these portals. Some of these are, this is the Bitstamp one. Here's the Itsac portal for vendors. And then here's a portal guide. So a lot of the same resources that you were used to, they will show up on these pages. Scrolling down, if you have issues with logging in, you'll see these contact boxes at the bottom of most pages. This is where you can email out and get, assistance with your credentials. Okay. I'm gonna scroll back to the top. So I'm going to go over some of these top tabs here. So the About DIR, it's everything you might want to know about DIR as an agency. We have a lot of very helpful information about how the agency started, what governs us, things of that nature. Careers at DIR, open positions that we have. News, we have lots of news articles that we're posting or publishing out there, so you might want to take a look at that and see what pertains to you. And then this events tab, again, it takes a little while for it to load up, but you'll see that this is where we're posting our events that's coming up. You can get access to the registration links and things of that nature. And again, we have 2 vendor website trainings. One is right now, and the next one will be this coming Friday at 10 a.m. But you can kind of see this, and you would be able to get access to a lot of those type of links. Okay, so let's go back to the home screen. I want to show everyone. Let's start on IT solutions and services. This is where we have a lot of the top categories of sales that our customers would be either looking for or most interested in. Down here, we have kind of pages that are dedicated to those type of our top categories. You'll see here that we also have these 2 buttons, buying through DIR, which is geared towards our customers, and then selling through DIR, which is for our vendor community. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you'll see, and here's another place that I posted our orientations. So if I see something that I want to have announced to our vendor community, I will try to put it on a lot of relevant pages as well. So this is kind of a new blast that I put out there. But if you scroll down through the Selling Through DIR page, we have a lot of resources for you that kind of break down a lot of things that make up or are important to our vendor community. So you'll see here, starting off, we'll have Doing Business with DIR, our schedule of solicitation opportunities, which was currently referred to as our current contracting initiatives. This is where you can see solicitations that are either in the planning stage, in the post-bid stage, evaluation, negotiation, things of that nature. Our historically underutilized business program, our hub program, you'll have a lot of information here about things that you're responsible for reporting hub statuses and things of that nature. Here's our outreach and training. This is where we show a lot of different topics that we've had for vendors, and then you'll see a lot of relevant links for orientations and things of that nature. This is an important tab that I want to, an important page that I want to highlight. It's our reporting sales and payment of admin fees page. This is everything that you would need to know about how to report your sales, guides and resources that are there, how to submit your admin fee payments, a lot of that stuff. If you've had an orientation in the past few months at least, we've been trying to have orientation sessions that are just dedicated to walking you through a vendor sales reporting process. That is all localized on this page as well. Things about accessibility that you are responsible as a vendor, and some of these security requirements as well. So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to double check to see if there are any questions.
Yes, we do have one question. Previously, the question came up of when will the vendor sales portal be fixed? The follow-up question is, the question was addressed with no resolution date. I gather we just wait to submit reports. Do they wait to submit, or can they submit it all right?
So the latest news that I have is that co-op and tele contracts can submit your vendor sales report now. If you previously had it stuck, if your report has gone through and it says that it's been accepted, then this message doesn't apply to you. But if it's been rejected or it's been stuck in the past, we're working on posting that message as well. But as of now, co-op and tele contracts can try to resubmit, and our staff is on standby trying to watch for bugs. The IT is still having issues, so more to come. And again, we apologize for the inconvenience. And I'm sure our staff is working diligently in the background, but that's kind of the latest I have on the vendor sales report portal.
And okay. Another follow-up question about being asked to share the link for the webinar coming on Friday. We can certainly do that, but we want to also say that the information on Friday is the same thing that we're presenting today. We just broke it out into 2 different sessions, Nawal. So if you'd like the link to add staff to Friday, it's the same information Friday that we're presenting today. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. If not, follow up with us.
Yeah, there's not so much information that we need to separate it into 2. We just have so many registrants that that 2 sessions was appropriate. So yeah, feel free. If you're on our homepage, you can see that here's links to both sessions. You can see the information regarding it and how to register for it. Again, there's no need to register for the second one if you're already on this one. So is that sure?
Follow up. Okay, co-op did not work for me this morning, but I can try again. Yes, we would encourage you to go ahead and try it again, Alan.
Yeah, and I would also say, again, if you've reached out to our admin fee box, they're helping resolve these kinds of issues. So feel free to reach out to them if you're still getting error messages regarding your reports.
And then where do you find the VSR link? Sorry, I missed that. Can you cover that one?
That's fine. So if you click on the sign in, it's the same as the sign into my DIR as on the previous iteration of the website. If you scroll down, you'll see this vendor sales report portal link. You click on that, it'll take you to the sign in page. And this link here hasn't really changed. So if you have this bookmarked, that's fine. Hopefully it doesn't change in the future. So the safe bet is to always go through the homepage and then clicking on sign in and then navigating down to the vendor sales report portal. And then this link should be always active. That's kind of why I think bookmarks are a little unsafe, is because they are subject to change, and it's hard to always make sure that everything is handled. And I will get into that in a little bit regarding your contracts and your contract pages. So that's a good point to make. But yeah, that is where the VSR portal is.
Another question we have, if I'm brand new, never done anything with this before, what is step number one? Where should I start to be a vendor? This webinar is geared toward current DIR vendors. However, there is a link that Tony can show you where our solicitation opportunities are, scheduled solicitation opportunities.
So
that's where interested vendors would start to respond to a DIR solicitation.
correct. And again, I'm glad you've joined. The key is to get a contract with DIR so that you can get your foot in the door and start selling to our community. But we do have pages like this, doing business with DIR. It is information on what you need to do to become a prime vendor, to become a reseller for a prime vendor. That's how you can get your foot in the door. And again, we have information on our hub program. So this is kind of like, a breakdown of the basic steps. And you'll see here on the schedule of solicitation opportunities, this is a page that you should be very interested in, depending on your business and what you have to offer. This is where you're going to learn about RFOs or solicitations that are in the planning stage, right? So we're just getting those ready. It doesn't mean that they're going to go out onto the street for vendor responses, but there's a strong enough interest for us to have that posted. And then you can see those that are in the pre-solicitation phase, a posting phase where we're accepting responses. You'll see a lot of information on this page, and it is subject to change quite a bit. So either having this page bookmarked or our ESBD, the Electronic State Business Daily, that's also where a lot of the solicitations are posted, that will be on this page. So you're gonna want to keep an eye out. And you'll also get information on Bitstamp as well, because Bitstamp is our e-procurement tool. That's how you're going to respond to a solicitation. So you'll have to have a Bitstamp account. And again, that's back on that sign in. You'll see a link to the e-procurement Bitstamp portal. But that's how you're going to start. And again, if the solicitation is due, let's say today, 10/20 at 5 p.m., don't register for an account at 4:45 thinking that you're going to be able to post everything. Make sure you have an account, make sure that you have your information ready and ready to go, and then you can start posting the information, because that is a kind of a time-consuming process. But once you have that account established, then you can go out and start responding to procurements. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So we talked about doing business with DIR. Those of you that are completely new to DIR or want to get a refresher, that information is there. Our schedule of solicitation opportunities, our hub program. So I'm going to click on this. Again, the hub program is based on the CPA's hub program. So you'll see a lot of the same information, but it is important to go out to the site and take a look, and you'll have kind of these like quick links of resources that would be relevant to you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to our page here. Our outreach and training. This is kind of a joint page for both customer and vendor oriented trainings that we conduct, or our hub and outreach and training team conducts. So you'll see a lot of the topics that we have for customers, but then we also have down here vendor training topics. And a lot of this stuff you'll find out on the pages, but we also have ongoing monthly vendor orientations for newly awarded vendors, or vendors that already have a contract but need a refresher, or if you have staff turnover and you need a new staff person to get oriented with how DIR works, it is a good idea to get onto one of those as well. And again, we have more resources down here. We actually have a video on how to use the Bitstamp portal. So yeah, lots of information out here. Hopefully it's a lot more accessible than it was in the past. So reporting sales and payment of admin fees. This is where, again, you're going to get a lot of information about why you need to submit your VSRs, where in your contract does it say it, kind of like things that we want you to know about in terms of us either having issuing fines for late reports or terminating your contract if you don't submit your reports on time. There's a lot of information back here. So go ahead and check those out. And if you aren't already, we have information on getting signed up for ACH payments or direct bank transfers. That information is down here as well. Okay. I'm going to go back to the top here. Actually want to highlight down here. We have this link on a lot of our pages regarding customer eligibility. It is all over the website, but here's a link that will be relevant to you. It does show our customers that are eligible to purchase through DIR and some of the statutes that drive that. And again, you can kind of scroll through here and see what these statutes mean. If a customer is coming to you and saying that they want to buy off of your contract, it is very important that that customer is actually eligible because we are reviewing your reports and making sure that these sales are valid. So just depending on what you sell, what contract you have, and what you're able to sell, that would determine a lot of this customer eligibility as well. So I'm going to go back to which page are we on? The reporting sales. Again, a lot of basic information regarding your sales reporting. Accessibility and security, these are just kind of standard guidelines that we have, which kind of segues into this part, this portion of the portal, our policy and guidance. This is really important for our customers, but you may find it relevant to you as well. A segment of you as a vendor community may be affected by our RAMP certification process that's upcoming. If you haven't heard about it, recent legislation has it so that state agencies and institutions of higher ed will need to purchase cloud services and offerings that are RAMP certified. RAMP certifications is kind of based on the federal RAMP process, but we're going to have a state or Texas level as well. Our security group or our OCISO group is working on those guidelines, and if you are on the vendor newsletters, you probably have been getting blasts about preparing for this because it's coming up very soon on January 1st about all things RAMP certification stuff. So be sure to check that out. That would be on our information security page. Once that page is ready, it will be here as well. All information regarding the RAMP certification process. Okay, so here's also a resource library. This is how you can search through documents and things of that nature on our website. This IMA vendor also goes right back to the selling through DIR. So this is a page that's basically dedicated to vendors. Now that we've gone through the majority of the pages that I want y'all to take a look at, I want to take some time to go through our search DIR. Again, our search is much more robust than it was in the past. You should be able to actually find a lot of the pages and content that you're looking for. There are two tabs here, all pages and content, and then contracts and vendors. The all pages and content is searching site-wide, so you'll get events, you'll get news, you'll get pages, you'll see contracts, you'll see everything that is on our website. For your purposes, you're probably going to want to look at this contracts and vendors tab. This is where you can search for your contract. This is where you can search for offerings and things of that nature. So I'm just gonna search for Dell. This is kind of a standard for me. It's easy to search for. But as soon as I hit search, you'll see you'll have 3 tabs here. We are working on a 4th tab that's just contract documents. But right now, you'll see that you'll have all results, which will combine everything under contracts and vendors. And then you have a tab for contracts and you have a tab for vendors. You'll see how the results are they're automatically sorted by relevance based on the algorithms in the background. But I searched for Dell and I got to the Dell marketing page, which is a big plus. And you'll see you can sort here as well. So you can sort by contract number, you can sort by vendor name, you can sort by hub type if there is a hub type. I'm going to go over to this contracts tab, and you can see there's the contracts that have the word Dell in it. Most likely, this 3763 is the main Dell contract. You'll also notice this isn't so relevant to you. This is more relevant to our customers trying to get a list of results. But searching for your contract is very easy. You can either put in your vendor name, you can put in your contract number. Most likely your contract number is the best way to get to your contract. So I could look up 3763, hit search, and it will get me to that one page. I can search for the whole thing, DIR-TSO-3763, and I should get to that one contract. If I tab over to this vendors one, it won't. You're really trying to search by the vendor name. So if I search for Apple, I should get to vendor pages that have the word Apple in it. So there's these other contract pages that have resellers on it. But I'll show you both. So if you're on your vendor page, let's just pretend this is your vendor page. You'll see your company name here, your vendor ID as you registered on our side. If you are a hub, there's hub information here as well. You'll scroll down and you'll see that we have listed contracts where you are either a prime vendor on it or if you're a reseller on it. So this Apple as a company only has one contract, and that's why there's only one link here. But let me go back to Dell. I think that's a better example. So we're going to look at Dell, scroll down. You'll see that they are a prime vendor here under this contract, and all of these are links, by the way. And they are a reseller on this other contract, 4401. So if you're interested or you want to make, advertise this page, this is your vendor page. You'll see that the URL is dir.texas.gov/contracts/vendors/ your company name. So I'm going to go into a contract page, and I want to focus your attention. So every vendor with an active contract, you are obligated to maintain your vendor website, and this is a link to your website. And if I click on this, it will open up the vendor's website. But we don't really have control over what is on your vendor website. If you notice, a lot of your links have changed. So your contract URL is different. This is what it actually is. It's dir.texas.gov/contracts/ your contract number. If you don't know where it is, use the search button and search for your contract number. That will be your contract page. The links that were associated to our previous website for either for your contract numbers and also your contract documents are no longer working. So it's imperative that you contact your site admin that's maintaining your vendor website and update any of the links that you may have out on there. So I'll walk you through the contract page. A lot of this information is exactly the same as our previous site, only it's packaged and displaying in a little bit more coherent manner. So here you'll see your contract number. You'll see two dates here, a term date and an expiration date. A term date is the upcoming termination date, the date that the contract is terminating. The expiration date is if all renewals are executed. So this is per your contract, the furthest out this contract can be pushed. So you'll see that this one is terminating in 2022, but with extensions, it could go to 2024. Okay. Scrolling down here again, you're going to have a link to your vendor page on every contract page. So this is an active link that will go back to that vendor page. You'll get information about your hub statuses, the RFO that it's that your contract was awarded under. This is you can actually search by RFO number as well, and you can pull up all the active contracts that that were awarded under that RFO number. Contract status, obviously it's active. Your contact information, again, hopefully this information is correct. If not, here's your DIR contract manager that is assigned to your contract. If you have information that has changed or needs to change, contact the person that's on your contract. In this example, it's Tiffany. But yeah, go to your contract page, review this information, make sure that it's right. Hopefully we're out of the phase of identifying glitches, but it can still happen. So make sure you take a look at it and make sure that everything is correct. Your contract overview, just kind of the basic information regarding your contract. Down here, this is where there are sections. One is products and services, all the things that is associated to your contract based on what was awarded at the time. Commodity codes, these are all the commodity codes that our state agencies use, the NIGP codes. All of this is based on what's offered on that contract. Brands, these are all the brands that are, again, associated to your contract. Be sure to take a look at this. And since I chose Dell, of course, there's a couple hundred brands, but based on the contract that you have, it may not have that many. But make sure you double check that and work with your contract manager to make sure that that information is correct. Contract documents. This is really important. So if I hover over any of these contract documents, you'll see the URL down there. It's dir1.sharepoint.com. On the back end, when we transitioned the website, we also transitioned where a lot of these documents are housed. So if you have links to contract documents on your web page, make sure that you go back over to this contract documents tab on your contracts page and update the links. So all of these links here are the latest and greatest, okay? Make sure that this is what you're sharing out. This is what you're advertising. Links down here, okay? How to order. This is information for our customers on issuing purchase orders under your contract. Resellers, this is all the resellers that's associated to your contract. Be sure to take a look at this. These are all dictated by your contract, but we've had some glitches about resellers showing up and contact information. So be sure to take a look at what is here. You can also click on this CSV link here if you have more than one reseller, so you can see it in an Excel format. You can review that information and, again, talk to your contract manager if that information is different. And again, another link here to your website. I think I've covered most everything I wanted on the contract page. I'm going to take a second and pause and see if there's any questions that have cropped up.
Yes, we do have several, Tony.
Okay.
First question, is the Bitstamp account user ID password the same as the VSR user ID and password?
No, those are two different ones. So when you're going into the sign in tab and taking a look at this, so I'm going to open up Bitstamp and BSR. You'll see information as in how to request a new account or forgetting your password. And then the VSR, that is established between your contract manager and you. So you have designated sales report contacts that can access the VSR portal, or you as a vendor contract manager. All that stuff is set up on the backside so that you can get access to the VSR portal. Those are not one and the same. You're going to have to contact either your contract, if we're talking about the VSR portal, contact your contract manager to get those credentials. If you're talking about Bitstamp, all that information is on the Bitstamp portal, or you can always send an email out to identity support here to get your information. But again, try looking here first to get that information. We are working on making things under an umbrella so that all the information is so you're not having to maintain multiple logins. That is a work in progress, and it is a very, very up and coming soon work in progress. But as of now, that's how you'll get that access.
Okay, next question, and I'm not sure if we have this on the DIR website or not, but question is, did you address when the PAR is due? Where can we find that information?
I would have to search for it, but I believe it's on the hub page. I'm going selling through DIR hub. I will double check to see if the PAR information is here. It doesn't seem like it, but we'll make a note to add that information on the site. So more to come.
Teresa Williamson is with us today too. Teresa, I don't know if you can answer when the PAR is actually due.
The PAR is due. Yeah, the PAR is due before the 15th of each month, following the actual PO payment. And you can always reach out to the hub office, and we're at dir.hub@dir.texas.gov. The actual PAR form is going to be listed on the comptroller's website.
Yeah, so I think that's a good note. And again, we are open to any and all suggestions or comments about the website. If you like it, you love it, you hate it, give us all that information. We can always work on updating it and improving it. So be sure to submit that to us, and you could submit it to our Ask DIR. So if you go down to our contact here, contact DIR, you'll see a way to submit questions, comments, and feedback to our outreach team, and they will take a look at those. And most of these messages some of these messages will come back to me anyway. So you can submit things here. If you have feedback, as in, hey, it'd be great if you could post this information, that information. We're always open to any of that kind of feedback. So thank you for that.
Okay, next question. When we tried to get a list of customers, but no email information was available, when will the email information for customers be available?
I'm not sure I follow.
And I think what Sonal is asking is they're asking for a list of DIR customers, which we provide to vendors when new contracts are awarded. But I believe the customer list is available out on the Open Data Portal, the Texas Open Data Portal. If that's
yes, it is, but that's I mean that's kind of I would like to make sure that you understand that our customer eligibility list, that let's go to here, this customer eligibility list, this is what really drives who is eligible to purchase under. We don't have a finite list of customers. The ones that's out on the Open Data Portal are just those that have purchased under DIR contract at some point. It doesn't mean that this is an exhaustive list of all customers. but this page will really dictate that. Okay. I do want to also take a moment to look at organizations outside of Texas. This is where you're going to see if they have, if you're dealing with an organization outside of Texas, they need to have an interstate cooperation contract, an ICC. If you click on this link, you'll see a list of ICCs by state, and you can see, you know, City of Colorado Springs in Colorado has an ICC with DIR that allows them to purchase off of a co-op contract. So you're going to want to take a look if you're dealing with a customer that's outside of Texas to either see their contract documents and that ICC agreement, or to have that customer go out and establish that kind of stuff. So I just want to bring that to your attention.
Okay, next question. We are a vendor and I do the reporting of sales. I wonder, how do the customers report their purchases?
So it depends. Customers don't really report their purchases to us. We rely on the vendor community to tell us that information. Customers will reach out to DIR for, you know, information regarding submitting, you know, statement of works, things of that nature. But that's kind of the beauty of the co-op contracts, is that it's a customer to vendor relationship, and we're not in the middle of it slowing things down. If you're talking about our other program areas, like our STS program area, we do get those sales from the customers. But in general, we rely on the vendor community to tell us everything that's been purchased under those contracts. Okay.
A couple of other questions. Can you repeat what vendors need to do come January 1st? And I believe this also works into the next question about, can you repeat what was said about ramp? I believe those are one and the same thing about tax ramp coming for January 1st.
Yes. So I want to make a point, and this is, if you go to the policy and guidance under information security, this is where this information will be, and it should be posted very, very, very soon. We do have some news out there about ramp certifications, and it really only affects our vendors that have cloud services or cloud service offerings. Those products and services have to be ramp certified, and ramp certification, ramp stands for something I can't recall, but it's basically a federal guidelines for securing and making sure that cloud offerings are secure, and it's a certification that you have to gain. It's either, if you have one with the federal government already regarding your products and services, great. If you need to file for one, we will be setting all of that information up very, very soon. But it's only if you are affected by the legislation, and we can get that that legislation bill number. I can't recall off the top of my head, but it's basically saying that state agencies and institutions of higher ed are required. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's school districts. I'm sorry. I think it's school districts are required to have, if they have any cloud service offerings that's purchased through DIR, they also have to be ramp certified, and that would affect our vendor community greatly. If you want to continue to sell to those customer segments that's affected by this bill, you will need to get ramp certification. So yeah, that information will be posted very soon. It will be a comprehensive, exhaustive guideline on what you as a vendor need to do if you're affected, how you can submit for certification. But all of this stuff is effective as of January 1st of next year. So that's kind of why I was trying to highlight it, that we will be having a lot of that information out here very shortly. And again, if you're on our vendor newsletter, our chief procurement officer will be posting that information very shortly. And he's already sent out a few communications regarding it about gearing up for it. So, okay.
We have more questions. Do you want to continue on with the demonstration and come back, or do you want to continue on with questions?
I think I'm more or less done on the website. I think I've gone through everything. We had our contact DIR down here. That's where you're going to get a lot of people to contact depending on the program area. And then we talked about specific contract pages. I talked about our links. So I think I'm good. Again, you as a vendor, you're responsible for maintaining this information. So be sure to contact your contract manager if you have any changes or if you notice anything.
Yes.
But yeah, no, we can continue.
That leads to this question: how do you update contact information on our DIR contract page because that contact person has changed? And Tony just said contact your DIR contract manager if you have new vendor contact information on your contract page. Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Another question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say again, your contact information is all going to be here, and it's going to be it's not always going to be Tiffany. It's going to be depending on your contract number. So go out and do a search on your contract number. You should be able to find your contract page. If you can't find your contract page for one reason or the other, you can reach out to our Ask DIR. And remember, old URLs where bookmarked pages for your contracts more than likely don't work. So be sure to look on our new website and search for your information. Okay.
Okay. Next question. My reseller list is not the most updated version. How do I get it updated?
Again, reach out to your contract manager. They'll have to review your contract documents, your HSP, any amendments to make sure that reseller is allowed to be posted. But yeah, that reach out to your contract manager and they will help resolve that for you.
Yeah. And that will be a matter of updating your HSP form, submitting it to our hub office for approval, and that will update your resellers. You tell us which resellers and subcontractors you have on your contract.
Correct.
Okay, next question. How do you check to see if a DIR solicitation has been awarded?
So we, on our schedule of solicitation opportunities page, are you asking if when a solicitation has closed? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm just asking a follow-up question. So if you can post that, that would be great.
And David, to help answer your question, if you look at the solicitation of opportunities pages, you can see when a solicitation posts, but you can also see when that closing date is. And once it closes, it then goes to the evaluation phase and then to the negotiation phase. Once it closes, we no longer take bids for that open solicitation. It's closed. So then the award process begins after the evaluation and negotiation phases. That also may be something you might need to request through an open records request. If you're looking for specific solicitation information about DIR, you can request that through our open records request as well.
Right. And it's important to go back to our ESBD and you can take a look at solicitations that are out there.
Okay. Thank you, Gloria. Feedback on the site is definitely an improvement from before. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tanya, to your question about can you show us where the open data portal is, we can download the Itsac sales data. I put the data.texas.gov link in the chat, so you can go out there and look at that.
Sure. I believe it is do this. So you'll see, I use the search, you can see here on under our Chief Data Officer page, we have a link. We have information with the Open Data Portal, and then we have a link out to the Open Data Portal. Okay?
Hey, yes, Victor shared the link to the FedRAMP program, and that's information about the RAMP certification. And I don't know if you want to just follow up a little bit more on that, Tony. That's kind of what we're modeling the text ramp after.
Yeah, correct. It's going to have a lot of the same type of guidelines. But again, you're going to have to, once we have our comprehensive guide, you'll have to review that if your product, service, and offerings are. Okay.
And along with that, will there be a RAMP training?
Yes. I believe our OCSO group is working on that. So more to come, more to come, more to come.
So we don't get a DIR contract manager until we have a contract. That is correct, Julie. Vendors have to respond to an open solicitation in order to be considered for a DIR contract and go through the evaluation, negotiations, the phase, and then you are then considered for a DIR contract. There's no registration or sign-up list to become a DIR vendor. Every vendor has to respond to an open solicitation where their products and services are a fit, and then every vendor goes through the evaluation and negotiation phases in order to be considered for a DIR contract. Next question. I'm a new employee with a company that has a current vendor contract. Should the cybersecurity training link be taking me to a YouTube video?
Say that one more time.
I'm a new employee with a company that has a current vendor contract. Should the cybersecurity training link be taking me to a YouTube video?
Well, so yeah, cybersecurity training is really meant for our well, actually, correct me if I'm wrong. It's both our state agencies and our vendors are required to take cybersecurity training. It shouldn't take you to a video. I mean, it may be on this page. I'll check.
Interesting.
So I'll follow up on that. Yeah.
Okay. And those are all the questions that I see. If anybody has any more, feel free to enter those right now. We're almost at the top of the hour. Tony, I'm going to go ahead and share the contact information slide if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay. So Tony walked us through everything. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to Ask DIR at dir.texas.gov, or feel free to contact your contract manager. We are more than happy to answer any questions. Again, like Tony said, if you have suggestions, improvements, help me find something, feel free to let us know that information as well. So with that, I don't see any more questions. Does anybody have anything? Okay, question. What is the typical lead time for a bid announcement prior to the next contract? Example, my DIR contract expires in June. Will it be relet this year, next year, or perhaps not relet? So we post that information on resolicitations that are being refreshed out on the DIR website, Tamika. That would be under the Schedule of Solicitation Opportunities page. We post those that we have out in the planning stage. So if your current contract is getting ready to expire, we will post those out in the planning stage, and then you will see it progress to the posting phase when it actually posts for vendors to respond. So if you know you're looking to refresh something, it will be posted out on the DIR webpage. Whether it's this year or next year, we are advertising those resolicitations out there. And yes, there are times when we don't resolicit things, and that can happen for any number of reasons that we may not do a resolicitation for a certain group of contracts, but it's a rarity when that happens. But all of that is posted out on the Schedule of Solicitation Opportunities page when we're posting those rebids that are either coming down the pipeline or they are posted for responses right now. So check the Schedule of Solicitation of Opportunities. Okay, thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And again, let us know if you have questions or suggestions. Tony, thank you very much. Excellent job on the presentation. Appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. And again, for our group, if you don't have access to the portals, you can use those links, but only if those portals are relevant to you. And be on the lookout for upcoming trainings and things of that nature. Continue to submit your comments and feedback to the website. And I thank everybody for their time today. Have a great day.
Again, keep an eye on the vendor sales portal, and we're working to get those issues fixed.
Correct. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everyone.
We do have one more question. If you are a prime vendor seeking a project management and change management services subcontractor for IT solutions, we at EvolveSys would love to connect with you. Okay, looking for some subcontracting. Sounds good. Yes, reach out to those prime contract holders for subcontracting opportunities, Gloria. Okay, thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.